You don't need a trust fund to command respect and open doors. You just need the right training. While some people think wealth is all about flashy cars and designer logos, the truly established families, the ones we call old money, know that real influence is silent. They move through the world with a quiet confidence that has nothing to do with their bank balance and everything to do with their bearing. For generations, there's been a set of unspoken rules taught from birth in these circles. These aren't stuffy rules about which fork to use, they're deeper principles of character, discretion, and social intelligence. They are the invisible architecture that builds a life of substance. While new money shouts, the old money ideal is to whisper, and that whisper is often more powerful than any roar. It's the quiet confidence we associate with Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis, the understated elegance of an icon like Audrey Hepburn. It's a presence that doesn't need to announce itself because it's felt the moment it enters a room. But these aren't gate-kept secrets for the elite. They are teachable habits and a mindset that anyone can cultivate. So, we're going to pull back the curtain and reveal 12 of these unspoken rules. Master them, and you might just discover that the greatest asset you can ever possess isn't a fortune, but the character that can build one, sustain one, and command respect with or without one. Rule 1. Understatement as a form of discretion. The first and most foundational rule is that understatement is a form of armor. In a world obsessed with broadcasting every win, purchase, and opinion, old money families often teach their children the power of holding back. They learn early on that flashy displays don't signal superiority, they can signal vulnerability. Flaunting your success can invite unwanted attention, jealousy, and judgment. It makes you a target. Quiet confidence, on the other hand, protects your privacy and your reputation. This isn't about hiding wealth, it's about being so secure that you have nothing to prove. The new money impulse might be to buy the latest supercar or a diamond watch that glitters from across the room, shouting, "Look what I can afford." The old money approach is different. The car might be a 5-year-old luxury sedan, chosen for reliability over its ability to turn heads. The watch might be a vintage Patek Philippe on a worn leather strap, a piece whose immense value is only recognizable to the few who know what they're looking at. Its worth is in the story and the craftsmanship, not the price tag. So, how can you apply this? It starts with a shift in mindset. Focus on quality over logos. Invest in timeless clothes that are well-made and fit you perfectly, rather than chasing trends. When someone compliments you, practice the art of a simple, gracious response. A warm thank you is often more powerful than a long-winded explanation. Let your actions and the quiet quality of your life speak for you. In a world of noise, silence can be the ultimate flex. Rule 2. Manners before milestones. The second unspoken rule is a crucial one. Manners come before milestones. Old money culture rests on a fundamental truth that modern society sometimes forgets. Credentials can open a door, but it's your character that keeps you in the room. While academic accolades and career advancements are valued, they're often seen as secondary to the bedrock of politeness, gratitude, and respect. These aren't niceties for special occasions, they are non-negotiable daily habits. Think of it this way. A child in one of these families is more likely to be corrected for forgetting to thank a member of the household staff than they are to be praised for a perfect score on a test. The score is an expectation. The courtesy is a reflection of core values. They're taught that every single person, from a CEO to a doorman, deserves the same level of respect. Talking down to anyone is seen as a sign of deep insecurity, a trait associated with the stereotype of new money, not established grace. This philosophy plays the long game. Achievements can be cyclical, careers can pivot, and fortunes can fluctuate, but a reputation for being a person of integrity and grace is permanent. It's the social capital that truly compounds over a lifetime. A business leader who treats their assistant with the same kindness as a major investor earns a deeper, more resilient form of respect than one who is merely good at closing deals. In our hustle culture, there's often an intense focus on results at any cost, which can lead to a transactional view of people. This is the antithesis of the old money mindset, where how you do something is just as important as what you do. Burning bridges isn't just poor strategy, it's seen as a failure of character. So, to bring this into your life, start seeing every interaction as a chance to build your character, not just your resume. Make courtesy a reflex. Hold the door, say please and thank you consistently, and make a point of using the names of people who provide you a service, the barista, the security guard. When you engage with someone, give them your full attention. Put your phone away. These small acts signal that you value their time and their humanity, which is the hallmark of true confidence. Rule 3. The micro-rituals of kindness and courtesy. Building on that foundation of manners is the third rule, mastering the micro-rituals of kindness. These are the small, almost invisible gestures that build an immense reserve of goodwill. They are the subtle signals that you are considerate, self-aware, and not absorbed in your own world. In old money circles, these actions are essential tools for navigating the social landscape. Perhaps the most famous of these is the handwritten thank you note. In an age of fleeting texts and emails, taking the time to write a personal note on proper stationery is a power move. It communicates a level of appreciation that a digital message simply can't. It says, "Your gesture was important enough for me to dedicate my focused time and effort in response." This one habit can make you incredibly memorable. But the micro-rituals go far beyond stationery. It's the simple phrase, "after you," offered with a genuine smile. It's holding a door for someone, even if they're a few paces behind. It's remembering a small detail from a previous conversation, the name of their child, a project they were working on, and asking about it later. This shows you were truly listening, and it makes people feel seen and valued. These habits stand in stark contrast to the transactional nature of modern life, where we rush through our days treating human interactions like another item to check off a list. The old money ethos reminds us that these small moments of connection are the list. They are the mortar that holds our social and professional lives together. How can you start today? First, get a box of simple, elegant stationery and a good pen. Challenge yourself to write one thank you note a week. Second, practice situational awareness. Look up from your phone when you're walking down the street. Make eye contact. Look for small opportunities to put someone else's comfort before your own momentary convenience. Compounded over time, these small acts create a reputation for grace that money can't buy. Rule 4. Money as a curriculum, not a secret. The fourth unspoken rule turns a common taboo on its head. Money is treated as a curriculum, not a secret. In many households, money is a source of anxiety, spoken about in hushed tones or not at all. This secrecy often breeds financial ignorance and fear. Old money families tend to take the opposite approach, understanding that financial literacy is too important to be left to chance. This education isn't about flaunting wealth, it's about fostering a deep sense of stewardship. The goal is to raise children who see money not for consumption, but as a tool to be managed for long-term security. The lessons are practical and age-appropriate. A young child might start by sorting coins. An older child might receive an allowance with a ledger to track spending, saving, and giving. There's the famous story of John D. Rockefeller having his children keep detailed ledgers to account for every penny, not to be stingy, but to teach the value of a dollar and the habit of mindfulness. As they become teenagers, the curriculum advances. Family discussions might include the concept of trade-offs. If we take this big vacation, it means we'll need to cut back on dining out for a few months. They might be introduced to the basics of investing, not as a get-rich-quick scheme, but as a slow process of compounding growth. They learn the hallowed tradition, never touch the capital. The principle is to be preserved. You live off the interest it generates. This approach creates a healthy, demystified relationship with money and combats entitlement by framing wealth as a responsibility, not a right. It teaches patience and the crucial difference between wants and needs. To apply this, start by opening up the conversation about money in a neutral, educational way. You don't have to be wealthy. At the grocery store, you might say, "I'm choosing this brand because even though it costs a little more, the quality is better and it will last longer." This teaches the concept of value over price. By treating money as a subject to be mastered, you transform it from a source of stress into a tool for building a secure life. Rule 5. Curating social circles with kindness and boundaries. The fifth unspoken rule is about the intentional cultivation of one's social world. Children are taught that their social circle is not an accident, it's an investment in their character and future. They learn to choose friends with the same care they would a long-term investment, valuing qualities like loyalty, discretion, and mutual respect above popularity. A key pillar of this is the absolute avoidance of gossip. In these circles, discretion is the highest currency. Children learn that speaking ill of others isn't just mean, it's a sign of a weak character. If you can't be trusted with a small confidence, you'll never be trusted with a large one. A reputation for being a vault, for holding confidences, and refusing to engage in negative talk becomes one of your most valuable assets. This curation of social circles is not about snobbery as many imagine. The selection criteria are based on character, not class. They look for integrity, kindness, and intellectual curiosity, while being wary of social climbers who seem more interested in what you have than who you are. This also extends to social behavior. Acts of service are done quietly, without seeking credit. You connect two people because you genuinely believe they could benefit from knowing each other, not because you want to be seen as a power connector. The old money approach prioritizes the depth of relationships over their breadth. How can you apply this? Start by taking a look at the people you spend the most time with. Who lifts you up and talks about ideas? Who pulls you down into cycles of gossip and complaint? Make a conscious decision to invest more of your energy in the former. When you hear gossip, you don't need to make a grand stand. Simply change the subject or offer a neutral response. Let the conversation die. Over time, your social circle will naturally begin to reflect the values you embody. Rule 6. The mastery of emotional control and composure. The sixth unspoken rule is a cornerstone of the old money persona, the mastery of emotional control. The lesson taught is that true power isn't in a loud outburst, but in a calm, measured response. Grace under pressure is the ultimate indicator of inner strength. Imagine your flight is unexpectedly canceled. The typical reaction might be frustration and angry words at the gate agent. The old money response is entirely different. While the internal frustration is the same, the external behavior is a study in calm. They will quietly and politely approach a representative and ask a simple, solution-oriented question. "This is unfortunate. What are the next available options?" There's no yelling, no drama, no blame. They understand that an emotional outburst solves nothing and only undermines their own dignity. This principle is applied to everything from business setbacks to social mishaps. If a project fails, the first question isn't, "Whose fault is this?" but "What did we learn, and what's the plan now?" They correct issues calmly, focusing on solutions. This steady presence earns immense respect. In a crisis, they become the calm center in the storm. This composure is often mistaken for coldness, but it's actually a highly strategic form of social intelligence. It allows them to think clearly when others are panicking and maintain respect even from adversaries. To cultivate this, practice the strategic pause. When you feel a strong negative emotion rising, train yourself to take a deep breath before you speak or act. That small pocket of time gives you back control. Another step is to reframe problems. Instead of a catastrophe, see a challenge as a puzzle to be solved. The more you practice this in small situations, like being stuck in traffic, the more it becomes your default setting in major crises. Rule 7. Respect through invisible gestures. The seventh unspoken rule is about communicating respect through small, almost invisible gestures. A deep and constant current of respect is maintained through subtle, non-verbal cues that make everyone feel valued. One of the most relevant of these gestures today is how you handle your smartphone. In old money circles, a phone has no place at the dinner table. When you are in conversation, your phone should be put away, face down, and on silent. Placing your phone on the table sends a subtle message. Something on this device could be more important than you. Giving someone your undivided attention is one of the greatest forms of respect you can offer in the modern world. This extends to a general awareness of your environment. It means not reaching across someone's plate. It means letting others finish their sentences without interrupting. It means angling your body and making eye contact with the person speaking to show you're engaged. It might even mean standing up when an older person enters the room, a traditional sign of respect that still carries immense weight. These gestures are invisible because, when done right, they don't draw attention. They just contribute to a smooth, respectful interaction. It's only their absence that feels jarring. Think of trying to talk to someone who is constantly glancing at their phone, or the disrespect of being interrupted mid-sentence. These small transgressions erode social fabric. To start incorporating this, make a commitment to single tasking during social interactions. When you are with someone, be with them completely. Institute a no phones at the table rule. Practice active listening. Don't just wait for your turn to speak. By mastering these invisible gestures, you create an aura of respect and presence that make people feel valued in your company. Rule 8. The pursuit of craft over clout. The eighth unspoken rule is a profound cultural value, prioritizing craft over clout. In a world obsessed with fame and follower counts, old money families often instill the belief that true value is found not in superficial popularity, but in the deep and patient mastery of a skill. The dedication required to master a craft, whether it's playing an instrument, excelling at a sport like rowing, or learning a discipline like chess, builds character in a way that chasing likes never can. It teaches discipline, resilience, and the quiet satisfaction of incremental progress. The resulting skill is a durable internal asset. Clout, on the other hand, is a fleeting external validation that can vanish as quickly as it came. Children are encouraged to stick with a difficult pursuit, especially when they want to quit. The lesson isn't about becoming a world champion rower, it's about the process. It's about showing up when you don't feel like it, accepting criticism, and finding joy in getting just a little bit better than yesterday. This builds a powerful sense that your success is determined by your own effort, not the whims of an audience. This stands in direct opposition to the culture of the instant influencer, where fame can seem like an end in itself. From the old money perspective, influence should be a byproduct of expertise, not the goal. You earn the right to be heard by becoming exceptionally good at something. How can you embrace this? Pick one skill you've always wanted to develop, learning a language, cooking, woodworking. Dedicate consistent time to it each week. Focus on the process, not the outcome. Resist the urge to post about your progress on social media. Do it for you. By cultivating a craft, you're not just learning a skill, you're building a more resilient, disciplined, and interesting version of yourself, a source of confidence that no amount of external validation can ever match. Rule 9. The mindset of stewardship over stardom. The ninth rule cultivates a mindset fundamental to preserving generational wealth and values: stewardship over stardom. From a young age, children are often taught that they are not owners of their family's legacy and resources. They are temporary caretakers. Their role isn't to be the star of the show, but to be a responsible trustee, tasked with preserving and passing on what they've been given. This mindset is the ultimate antidote to entitlement. If you see yourself as a steward, you understand that resources aren't just for your personal gratification. They come with responsibility. This encourages long-term thinking, far beyond one's own lifetime. The question isn't, what can this do for me now? But how does this decision impact the family's legacy 50 years from now? This manifests in practical ways. It starts with teaching children to take meticulous care of their belongings. In a family business, the goal is never just to extract short-term profit, but to ensure the business is healthier when passed on than when it was received. This sense of stewardship extends to the wider world, the principle of leaving a place better than you found it. Whether it's a public park or a rented vacation home, the steward feels a duty of care. This is a far cry from a consumer mindset where things are disposable, or a star mindset where the world revolves around your desires. You can cultivate this regardless of your financial situation. It begins with how you treat your own possessions. Before a major purchase, ask, is this a high-quality item that will last? In your professional life, view your job as a role where you have a responsibility to contribute and leave your team in a better state than you found it. Practice stewardship in your community by volunteering or mentoring. By adopting this mindset, you move from being a passive consumer to an active, responsible participant in your own legacy. Rule 10. The practice of quiet philanthropy. The 10th unspoken rule governs giving back. Philanthropy is treated as a duty, not a photo opportunity. In old money circles, generosity is a core obligation, but it's often practiced with a level of discretion that's startling in our age of performative charity. The goal is to serve the community, not to boost one's ego. Publicly flaunting generosity is considered the height of poor taste. It turns an act of service into self-promotion, centering the donor rather than the cause. The old money ideal is to give quietly, often anonymously, without expecting public recognition. The validation comes from the impact of the gift, not the applause. You might see this in an anonymous donation that saves a local library or a family foundation that quietly funds scholarships for decades. The work is the point. The credit is irrelevant. This contrasts with the highly visible PR-driven philanthropy we often see today, the galas with red carpets and novelty checks presented for cameras. While these events can raise money, the old money perspective is that when giving becomes a spectacle, its purpose is diluted. For a modern example, look at Warren Buffett. While his massive commitments, like the Giving Pledge, are famously public, his personal philosophy emphasizes the impact of the money over the glamour of giving. He lives modestly and would rather discuss the ideas behind his philanthropy than seek applause for it. How can you practice quiet philanthropy? You don't need millions. Start small. Find a local cause you care about and make a small donation anonymously. If you can't give money, give your time. Offer to help a neighbor, mentor a junior colleague, or volunteer at a shelter. The key is to do it without expecting anything in return. Not a thank you, not a social media shout-out. This purifies your intentions and reinforces the idea that your contributions have value in and of themselves, whether anyone else knows about them or not. Rule 11. The power of structured, calm daily rituals. The 11th rule recognizes that character is built not in grand moments, but in the quiet discipline of daily life. The rule is to establish and adhere to structured, calm daily rituals. How you begin and end your day is seen as a reflection of your self-respect. In many old money households, the day doesn't begin with a frantic scramble. It doesn't start with an alarm followed by the immediate glow of a smartphone flooding the brain with notifications and anxiety. Instead, the morning is a protected time. It often involves waking at a consistent early hour and enjoying a quiet, no-tech bubble, a period of reading, journaling, or light exercise before the outside world intrudes. This creates a calm, proactive tone for the day.
Family meals, particularly dinner, are another key ritual. They are structured times for connection, not for staring at screens. The TV is off and phones are absent. This is where the art of conversation is practiced, where children learn to listen and articulate their thoughts. The end of the day is also intentional. It isn't about collapsing in front of a screen. The evening ritual often involves preparing for the next day, laying out clothes, reviewing schedules to reduce morning stress. It's also a time for reading. These families often foster a deep appreciation for lifelong learning, viewing books as a source of wealth far more valuable than money. These rituals create a stable internal architecture in a chaotic world. You can harness their power with small changes. Start a simple 15-minute morning routine that doesn't involve your phone. End your day by taking 5 minutes to plan for the next. Have at least one meal a day without any screens. Over time, these quiet habits become the bedrock of a more focused, centered life. Rule 12. The language of appropriate dress and presentation. The 12th and final rule is about the language of personal presentation. Dress appropriately and practically. For old money, clothing isn't primarily a tool for broadcasting status. It's a form of communication that speaks of respect for the occasion, for others, and for oneself. The cardinal sin of dressing is not being unfashionable, it's being inappropriate. Dressing appropriately shows social awareness. It tells your host you've understood the context of the event and put thought into your presence. Whether it's a weekend in the country or a formal gala, there's often an unspoken dress code, and adhering to it is a sign of respect. If you're ever unsure, the rule is to err on the side of being slightly more formal. Being overdressed is a minor misstep. Being underdressed can be seen as disrespectful. The focus is on quality, fit, and practicality over trends. Their style is about an effortless elegance that allows them to feel comfortable. They invest in high-quality, timeless pieces made from durable fabrics like wool and cotton. A perfectly tailored jacket from 10 years ago is considered far more stylish than an ill-fitting, trendy piece hot off the runway. They know a good tailor is a better investment than a luxury logo. This philosophy is taught from childhood. Wear clean shoes, have tidy hair, and wear clothes that are well maintained. It's a visual signal that you take pride in yourself. To apply this, build your wardrobe with purpose. Invest in versatile, high-quality staples, a good coat, a well-tailored blazer, classic leather shoes. Before you attend an event, consider the occasion and the host. What would be the most respectful way to dress? This small act of consideration won't go unnoticed. As we've explored these 12 unspoken rules, a clear picture emerges. The old money ethos has surprisingly little to do with money. It's about a mindset of discretion, respect, responsibility, and quiet confidence. It's a code of conduct built on the idea that character is the most valuable asset, reputation is the most important currency, and legacy is the ultimate goal. These aren't rules designed to exclude, but principles designed to preserve values. They're a playbook for navigating the world with grace and commanding respect in any room, regardless of your bank balance. The most empowering truth is that you can begin implementing these principles today. This isn't about imitating a lifestyle, it's about adopting the foundational habits of character that underpin it. It's about choosing understatement over ostentation, craft over clout, and stewardship over stardom. If you found these insights valuable, please give this video a like to let us know. For more deep dives into the art of elegant living, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. Now for our question of the day. Which of these 12 unspoken rules do you think is the most powerful or most needed in the world today? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. We look forward to reading your perspectives.